Welcome back. This is Sinuous from Chimera Skies and from the competitive side of Cascade Zero. Today we'll be going over some of the do's and the don'ts of the beginning class of Nodachi. This is, for me, what I would be doing if you are a beginner playing the Nodachi class. Alright, so let's kind of get into this. So first things first, when you're choosing the class, if I were you, if I was in your position, I would go ahead and, as for units, I would choose the Iron Cap Spearmen. Okay, I would choose them. I would choose the Elite Prefecture Pikemen if you don't want to go with them. I would definitely choose the Mesni Spearmen also, because they're good for line formation and blocking people out. I would choose the Mesni archers, and kind of head in a route where you have a kind of like an artillery of being able to kind of choose to be in the front lines, but also when you just want to kind of watch everything, how it's unfolding, kind of be able to lay support also. So it's very crucial that you be able to be on the front lines as a beginner, but also know when you need to help your team push forward. And not saying that while you have archers in the background that you can't be on the front lines. You can place them, understanding where to place them and put them on the battlefield in tandem where you're at is part of playing this game. This is part of the experience factor that's going to play in the long run, that is going to either once you get of a higher level, this is going to determine, these things will determine whether or not you lose the battle, where and how you're placing your units, and if it was a good idea to overextend or flank or whatnot. Anyways, you get 3 units to choose from, 3 green ones and then 1 blue. So that's where I'm kind of laying out that those are the ones I would specifically choose. And you know, all the other ones you can kind of build into other things and stuff like that later, so it doesn't really matter what you choose, but I would definitely go with those ones first, just so you have a foundation ready already laid out. Alright, so for this next segment, we're going to talk about attributes and skills. So on the attribute side for the Nodachi class, you're going to want to spec all your points into strength at this point in time. Now, when you get to my level 100 plus and beyond, level 100 plus and beyond, this is going to change significantly. This is not going to be the case, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about at the beginner levels, you have plenty of time, and by then you'll have hero books and whatnot to reset your attributes by this point, and you'll be able to go along with what I'm going to tell you differently in a previous well, I guess in the next upcoming video that I'll probably have about what you should do with your character. So with that being said, I would go ahead and put all your points into strength. Don't worry about all the other stuff. Just go with strength. And some people say, well, you know, do some points in agility. Yeah, no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. And the main reason is because I understand that people talk about penetration and then the base damage and all this other stuff. Listen, at the end of the day, your whole skill at the beginning levels, your skill for base damage on units, where you could just absolutely destroy all the units on the battlefield because of the damage that you have in strength, is going to affect how much lifesteal you get. So the more strength that you have to kill enemy units, the more life you'll be getting back from that. And that is something you have to have. You have to have that lifesteal coming in to keep basically heal tanking you whatever damage you're getting. And a lot at the earlier levels, people are going to have a problem with fighting your class. They're going to have a problem with fighting your class because as long as you have enemy units around you, you basically have a finite source to basically not die. So, you know what I'm saying? As long as you have the skills up to be able to do damage, you're going to be able to heal your life back up to 80 to 100% all the fucking time. Sorry for my language. Moving on. So definitely want to do all points of that. Like I said, I'll have another video that will highlight how that's going to change once you hit level 60 to level 100 plus and beyond. But skills you want to go for. Okay, so this is very important, very important. Understand this. I know people do not like this skill, but you have to have it. It is the bread and butter of Nodachi. If you play Nodachi, you're not a good at Nodachi unless you have this skill. There's no way. You're not a good Nodachi character if you do not have this skill. You have to have Bloodthirsty. There's absolutely no reason on this planet, hands down, you have to have this move. And the reason why, and I get it, it's linear. It's a very linear move. It can be dodged, it can be blocked. But with that being said, first of all, it is a CC move, okay? It is a crowd control ability, which means this ability has once you get it to level 3, tier 3, the skill, you will be able to knock them down once you, if you actually confirm hit, it will knock your enemies down. It will knock down enemy units, not just enemy heroes and commanders. It will knock down enemy units, okay? It will knock them down. So they cannot do damage to you while they are knocked down. Second of all, not only is this move a CC move, but it is an anti-CC move. So if you get knocked down, you can use it to counter and get back up. You have to have this. This move gives you back 2 points of bloodlust. This move gives you 2 points of bloodlust. There is no other move that gives you 2 points of bloodlust. Let's make that clear. As far as regular moves go in your arsenal, there are no other moves that gives you 2 points of bloodlust. Okay? You have to have it. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. If you're going to play Nodachi class, for better or worse, you have to have this ability. Okay? Moving on. This is the beginner classes. So I'm going to make a note, and the note is this. Eventually, you're going to want to get Dragon's Leap, okay? You're going to want to spec in the, if I had to tell you which one to go for first, Dragon's Leap is probably the better one to go for in order to open up enemy units, open up basically the pathway for people to advance onto units with your skill. Okay, you've got to have Dragon's Leap in order to get past Shield, Iron Cap, Spearmen, Spear Sergeants, yada yada. Okay, blase blase. Okay, so with that being said, still get Avalanche. And when you watch my next video on level 100, the differences between how you should play as a beginner versus how you should play when you're level 100 plus, you need to have Avalanche. You have to have it, okay? And there's a reason. Do not write both of these alts off. There is a place and a time for both of them, and there's a reason and a way to use them, okay? And Avalanche is just as good as Dragon's Leap on the situation that I'm going to show you how to use it in the upcoming video. So do not disregard it and decide to write it off. It is a good ability, okay? And it is something that I use a lot in order to main Nodachi in the higher levels, okay? So I would encourage you to have that ability. Try to be going for both of them, okay? But yes, I would definitely go for Dragon's Leap first. With that being said, moving on. You have to have Monstrous Blade on your build. You need to have Monstrous Blade on your build. There is no good reason not to have it, okay? Honestly, it is a way to heal yourself, and the only other class that has an ability to heal themselves is Longsword and Shield. So you taking this move off effectively makes you ineffective. Okay, you basically have one of the best. You are one of two classes that actually has a move that can heal you. Like, yes, it is contemporary. Because and the meticulous way that it has to be used, you can only get it at certain points in time. That's besides the point. The point is that you get a heal off of it when you get like 6,000 something life from it, and the time that it goes through. And that's not only do you get life from it, but you can be still, depending on where you're at on the move when you activated it, you still can be getting life steal from it. You're still getting the life steal and everything like that, so you could still be gaining all this life on top of that. That doesn't stop your life stealing from happening when you're building bloodlust and stuff like that and whatnot. Well, you can't build bloodlust when you're in the midst of using Monstrous Blade, when you're using it to burn up the heal. But still, you're still healing on top of getting that heal. So you have to have it, okay? You need it. You need it in order to live. You need it to survive, okay? This is hands down, have to have it. Now, this is where things get kind of tricky at, because I love Samurai's March. I love Samurai's March. My only problem with it is this, is that one, it takes too long to activate. It can be countered, okay? And it does not have, it's just a base damage move. It's just a base damage move, pretty much. That's all it is. So I'm going to tell you, of all the things on this list that you're going to need, you'll need this one the least. Okay, Samurai's March, I'm going to have to say you're going to need the least. Okay. Now, with that being said, your third ability that you should have on your bar should be, or can be, Fearless and Steadfast, okay? And the reason why is because during the beginning levels, the only thing that can really stop you is stuns. You getting dazed, you getting concussed, okay? So with that being said, Fearless and Steadfast, or as we in the Nodachi community call it, FNS, is the only ability that can take you out of both dazed and concussed statuses, okay? So if you're under a CC, this is the only move that can get you out of it. This is the only move that can take you out of that. So when you get hit by a Glaive user who uses their concuss ability, which is lasts about 2 or 3 seconds, which is enough time to melt you, mind you, okay? You are medium armor. That means you are the second armor easiest to kill. That's all that means, okay? You are, without your lifesteal, you are nothing. You are just another person on the battlefield with medium armor who's just gonna get freaking melted. So you have to have this ability to make sure that you are not in a state where you cannot be gaining lifesteal. Not gaining lifesteal, bad. Have to have FNS, okay? You need to have it at tier 3. Not only do you need to have FNS, you need to have it at tier 3. Okay? So that is a big thing. And you want to have it because it can be one of the last ones you get to tier 3 too, if you're not trying to go for if you're not trying to outright just go for, I believe, you know, Avalanche or whatever, because FNS tier 1 will get the job done what you need to do. It removes you out of daze, it removes you out of concussed statuses. So you really don't have to level it. You can focus on everything else. I would definitely get Bloodthirsty tier 3 before you move any of this other stuff. Definitely want to have Monstrous Blade tier 2 minimum. Okay, now this is where it gets kind of tricky at. Blood Oath and Tiger's Claw. There is a place to have Tiger's Claw. Tiger's Claw is a good ability. As far as damage goes, as this scales with your damage, this ability right here is more than likely, as far as base damage goes and added damage goes, is probably going to be your biggest damage dealer. Okay, this thing can absolutely, at tier 3, it is absolutely a problem. You know, even people who are in heavy armor, this is going to take a chunk of health from them, especially if they get hit by both slashing. So if you hit them with Bloodthirsty and they're knocked down, and boom, you hit Tiger's Claw, I'm telling you, at lower levels, this could mean they're almost dead. Okay, it takes that much health from them at the lower levels because of how powerful it is. Okay, with that being said, you can swap out FNS and have Tiger's Claw in its place, because if you're just okay, if you think you can play, you know, careful enough to not get caught by concussives and stuff like that, and it's not much of a problem for you, then yes, take Tiger's Claw. But then I would tell you to take Blood Oath with you. Now, Blood Oath. People don't like Blood Oath. Blood Oath to me is the you know, silly rabbit tricks are for kids. This is one of those abilities that's kind of like a diamond in the rough, because this ability clears the cooldowns of all your other abilities. The only thing it doesn't work on is your ult. Okay, so yeah, you know, and then on top of that, okay, it can refresh your bloodbath effect. I'm pretty sure that's, you know, if you have it, you can get another heal from it. So Tiger's Claw, you hit Tiger's Claw, Bloodthirsty into Tiger's Claw, Blood Oath back into Bloodthirsty, back into Tiger's Claw. For in the lower levels, you get hit by those four things right there in a combo, you're done. If you're not heavy clash, you're dead. You are for sure dead, probably before you even get to the last Tiger Claw. Okay, so Blood Oath is, I mean, and then on top of it refreshing your abilities, it ups your damage. Yes, that's right. It ups your damage. Now, that's not as good as the Glaive ability, where it buffs everybody's damages around his damage and everybody's damage around him, but it buffs your damage. Okay, and it lasts for like almost like 10 seconds. Who wouldn't want that? Okay, so you got to kind of play around with what builds kind of like you would want to go with that. But I'm sorry, but I know people probably didn't want to hear this, but Samurai's March to me is in comparison to all the other skills in the Nodachi arsenal, it is probably the one that you don't need. Okay, so I hope this kind of explains and goes over that, and this kind of helps highlight the do's and the don'ts of what you want to do with this class. Okay, and I'll probably make a part 2 of this video later on, to kind of highlight how to move about on the battlefield and whatnot, because that's another part of it. I want to show you guys, you know, and I'm sure in the duels that you're watching in the video right now, you can see how I combo into Bloodthirsty, into FNS, into Blood Oath, back into Bloodthirsty, back into FNS, which gives you a full freaking combo. That combo, depending on who you are, that can take half your life. And you can imagine how much damage that's going to do if I had Tiger's Claw. I mean, that's just going to up the damage by freaking by, you know, 30%. So, you know, you want to be smart in how you use the Nodachi class, but at the same time, I always implore you to make sure you do your homework on every character if you're going to commit to that character. Please duly note, guys, just because that Nodachi runs around on the battlefield almost absolutely uncontested, do not take this for granted. I guarantee you, by the time you reach level 60 or level 100 plus, Nodachi will transform into the worst class on the battlefield of all classes, and you're going to feel it. You're going to, as soon as it happens, you're going to know. Okay, as soon as you start playing with these people, you're going to know. And this is where you're going to have to refer to my video that I already have out. That's, I believe it's titled Before You Play Nodachi Class, Things You Should Know. Okay, you need to understand that this class eventually transforms into the worst class in the game. I do not want you going into this class and thinking that you're going to be able to do what you're doing right now at the lower levels and at the higher levels. I would be very bad at my job and trying to tutor you on what this class highlights and, you know, the pros and cons of the class. So I want you to understand, anybody who's playing this game, who's just started this game and doesn't know anything about the Nodachi class, this is one of those things I want you to understand right now, that eventually this class does become the worst class. And until they buff it, which I do not think that they're going to do, this will remain as that. Okay, so that's pretty much all that I have on this portion of the video to kind of get you guys started, so that way you guys know what you're kind of dealing with and you understand how to go on the battlefield with the right set of skills, the skills that you should be trying to level up. Okay, the skills you should be trying to level up, and the attributes you should be trying to level up. That is going to give you an edge on the battlefield when you go out there and you basically you're trying to play with your heart's content with being an Nodachi main, or maybe not. Maybe you're just trying to be a person who's ulting Nodachi and you're testing it out. But still, here is the founding recipe on how to play as a good Nodachi player. Okay, I hope this video helped you on your journey. I'm always going to be here for the Nodachi community, and I'm always going to try to put out more content. And I apologize for that last video, guys, where I recorded it outside. But you know what? Sometimes, you know, I got kids, so sometimes I don't get to, you know, I don't always get to make the quality videos that I wished I could because of the constraint of having kids in the house and they're just yelling and just absolutely going crazy. I'm not even gonna lie. I feel like my house is always getting Cat 5 hurricanes, but that is a different story. So anyways, thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening. Please, guys, if you love what I'm doing, like the video, subscribe, comment. Okay, follow my Twitch. I will be playing. I will be streaming. Sometimes I'll be getting my ass whooped. Sometimes I'll be MVP. Okay, you're gonna watch the ups and downs, the do's and don'ts, especially if you're gonna want to see how to play Nodachi at a higher level. Okay, but for now, this is all I have for you guys. Thank you for joining me, and I guess I'll see you guys around.